Hi, my name is Evan Frericks, and in 667 days, I'll be 40 years old. Glad I'm not recording this vlog tomorrow, one day later. And in that time, by the time I'm 40, I would like to understand more better how to resolve my problems. So I saw this really cool video by Casey Neistat yesterday. Casey evidently had tweeted an article about millionaires not being happy, and evidently a number of people on Twitter had a strong reaction to that. Something to the effect of, "Oh, boo-hoo, poor rich guys." So Casey made a video response to it and posted that yesterday. And in it, he talks about these two big ideas. One, that money doesn't solve your problems. And number two, that money does solve your problems. So section 1, money doesn't solve your problems. I'll link to the article below. The article is sort of this bewildered look at successful but unhappy people. Like how can those two things go together? The author of the article, Charles Doug, is shocked to discover his rich friends are unhappy. And I'm always shocked that people are still shocked about this in our culture. I'm shocked that our culture has yet to learn that money can't buy love or happiness. I think the reason Casey made this video response is because of the pushback he got on Twitter. And I like to think that the pushback came from a sort of cultural wisdom. But it seems like the tweets Casey's talking about came from more of a place of envy rather than wisdom. One of the tweets said, "I'd rather cry in a mansion than in a one-bedroom apartment." We've got to distinguish the kind of problems that we're talking about here. Casey does a really good job about that in the video. What problems will still be there to make you cry even if you live in a mansion? What could those possibly even be, right?
Rich or poor, we all face these problems that I'll call life problems. Life problems are things like finding happiness and finding love and a sense of fulfillment in your life and a sense of purpose maybe in your career, etc. These are life problems. These are problems we all, rich or poor, encounter.
Those will still make you cry if you live in a mansion. These are people problems that money just cannot touch. Section 2, money does solve your problems. Then Casey makes the point that on top of those problems, if you also have problems with basic needs like housing, food, clothing, health, transportation, then you don't have time to work on solving that other big set of problems, the happy or sad problems. I disagree with Casey here. He said that when he was poor and needed those basic necessities, that money would have solved all of his problems.
Money will solve your problems. This idea that money won't solve problems, it's bullshit. When I was dirt poor, money would have solved every one of my problems.
He just got done distinguishing the other set of problems, so I was a little confused by that. But what really is important, and what are our real needs? Maslow, in his famous pyramid graphic, describes the human hierarchy of needs. These needs get met from bottom to top, and the wider the section, the more significant the need. So that's why it's easy to see money as the primary problem. We've got two big sections on the pyramid here, the bottom two, that the millionaires presumably have got covered. Their basic needs like food, shelter, clothing, security, rest, and safety. But that's about as far as money can get you. So if these needs are met chronologically, then yes, we start with money problems, and if we don't have that need met, we cannot progress in life. But is that really true? Section 3, money is just paper. Our biggest problem is sin, not money. And it's easy to forget because in this life and in our culture, it constantly teaches us stuff like Maslow's hierarchy of needs pyramid. But in the Christian life, we got to start at the top of the pyramid. We've got to start with who we are. There is no self-actualization apart from Christ. There's no fulfilling purpose apart from Christ. And apart from Christ, there's no way to get rid of sin, to even get into the pyramid. And so to really get started on life's journey, you've got to get rid of sin. Then, once Christ begins to define you, to define your everything, then everything else from the pyramid, everything that's important, begins to flow from that. But even then, there's still no guarantee that your money issues will be solved. Jesus himself was homeless, and yet he had the most fulfilling and most impactful life in human history. And really, in the Christian life as we grow, our hierarchy of needs is continually shrinking. It becomes more and more about what we're willing to give up in our pursuit of Christ. So in conclusion, it's okay to be rich, it's okay to be poor, but happiness, or whatever it is not really about that. The world will continue to be baffled that money, power, and fame don't grant our most important needs, like love, happiness, fulfillment. But if we Christians are going to grow in our understanding of the truth, we need to let go of our own attachment to money and the other cultural solutions. Money is a tool, but it doesn't unlock purpose. Thanks for listening.